All right, tennis fans, just finished watching a great match between Sissy Potts and Hurkacz. It was, I thought, really awesome tennis. And I feel good about Sissy Potts right now after watching that. You know, yesterday I watched Medvedev play and clearly a little bit of burnout after the Australian Open. Played a weird match, hit a backhand, like spun around, smashed his racket. This kind of bizarre behavior from somebody who just got to the Grand Slam final against Novak, and just came out this tournament flat and cranky and tanky. But Sissy Potts, after losing to Medvedev, has come out really hungry in Rotterdam. And as a tennis fan, I love it. I love to see people fight out there. And that's exactly what he was doing today. He was fighting really, really hard against a really awesome opponent. If you've not seen Hurkacz play, which that was probably the most I really watched him play from beginning to end of a match, and I was super impressed. Big power game. Didn't really give much away. They both were just crushing ground strokes. Big tennis, fun tennis to watch. And what is that he was so pumped. That's right. Sissy Potts went to win the match. Go look at the highlights on YouTube. I'm sure they'll be up soon. He played an incredible defensive point when he was up 6-5. He's returning serve. Hurkacz got him running side to side, and he's got to hit a backhand, which is so hard to do. He's got to hit a backhand passing shot on the full out run and slide and off balance, and he kissed the line with a great passing shot. And then match point, again, he's scrambling, got to a really tough drop shot, made Hurkacz missing a passing shot wide. Awesome tennis. Lets out a primal scream. And what I loved about the entire match, because it was one of those matches to where you could get super frustrated, because every time you get a little bit of momentum, your opponent just shuts you down. And that's what Sissy Potts had to experience over and over and over again. It was exhausting. It was exhausting tennis. Even Sissy Potts, after the match, I watched the interview, said he was exhausted. He said, I was exhausted, but I'm happy. I'm proud. And he really wants to win this tournament. And what I loved about after he lost to Medvedev at the Australian Open, and he showed that he meant what he said, is he lost at the Australian Open, and he was clearly down. He was bummed out. And he also said that he thought Medvedev could beat Novak. He said he wouldn't be surprised if Novak won, though. But he was just basically saying that Medvedev played a great match, but you know, he was hungry. Like he said, he's like, I want to go play another match right now. That's what he said. He's like, I want to go play another match right now. He's like, I need another tournament as soon as possible. Like he wanted to get rid of this bad taste that he had, getting so beaten up by Medvedev, because he was feeling good at the Australian Open, guys. Let's face it. He thought that he was one of the favorites. A lot of the announcers thought that he was one of the favorites. He played an incredible match against Nadal. He was thinking, maybe this is my time. And then to go out there and get just beaten up by Medvedev, I think really, really hurt. But I love, it's a fight or flight situation, right? I love the way he responded. He said, I want to go play right now. And then he showed up. And today, if you're somebody who's a little grumpy, if you're feeling a little down on yourself, if you're feeling a little sorry for yourself, right? Hurkacz gave you every reason to just say, screw this, because he played incredible. Every time Sissy Potts had a glimpse of a look, Hurkacz would hit a huge serve or a big forehand, big backhand. He's big on both wings hitting. Or they go into a long rally and he'd win that. Like he just shut down Sissy Potts so many times. But what Sissy Potts was able to do time after time after time was he kept his head up. Like, I mean, if you play tennis, there's a great lesson to learn from watching this match. Yes, Tennis Paris brothers, glad to see you on this call. Sissy Potts guts it out in 3 tough sets, 7-5 in the third. It went the distance. It was an incredible match. And what I loved about it was that Tsitsipas never, ever, ever dropped his head. He had every reason to drop his head. You never saw him lose his temper. He always looked focused. He always accepted. That's one thing that Rafa, one of the best lessons I ever heard Rafa say after one of his matches where he had a ton of break points and he just couldn't convert. And then he finally converted. And he said, I just had to keep fighting and keep accepting. And that's exactly what Tsitsipas did today. He kept fighting and he kept accepting. Every time that he was turned down, he didn't give up. He didn't get down. And every time he had a glimpse of a look, he always was pumping his fist. He was always staying positive. And it paid off. It paid off. It was a huge, huge win. Hurkacz was a little shaky in the tight moments. Now, yes, young whippersnapper. That's we're on live if you're watching the replay. So we have young whippersnapper saying that. But we're talking a little shaky. We're talking a little shaky. Guys, that match went toe-to-toe. And every time there was a big moment, the other person stepped up, okay? There was a few unforced errors here and there on both sides. Like Tsitsipas had a great look at a break point, had a chance at a little drop shot volley, which he should have made. He probably would make that 9 times out of 10. He missed. But again, what I like about it is he never got down. He never just like, I mean, there was times where you could just say, screw this, throw your racket, get super annoyed like Medvedev did yesterday, right? And just tank. I mean, or just drop your level a little bit. But both these guys for the entire match just kept their minds, kept fighting. You know, as a tennis fan, as a tennis coach, it was a fun match to watch. And it has me super high right now on the Tsitsipas stock. Okay, I'm buying some Tsitsipas stock today. Okay, so I hope he keeps going because I love what I saw at the Australian Open. Incredible match against Rafael Nadal, against one of the greatest, if not the greatest player, and certainly maybe, I think you have to say him and Novak, the two greatest fighters out there. And he's down 2 sets to him, comes back and wins in 5 sets. That's huge, okay? And then today, again, showing the fight. After a very disappointing Australian Open semifinal, he shows up again today. Fight, fight, fight. Tsitsipas, I like it. And Tsitsipas has said that his goal is to win a 500 tournament this year. That's one of the goals. I'm sure another goal is to win a Grand Slam. So, you know, let's take a look at who he's got left to win this Rotterdam Open. He is the favorite now to win, but as we see, and that's what makes Rafa, Roger, and Novak so amazing, there's a lot of amazing competition out there. These guys are not playing stiffs, okay? So he's got to go against Karen Khachanov, who is a big hitter, playing really, really good tennis, just beat Cam Norrie 6-2, 6-2. So that's going to be, you know, if you just played an exhausting 3-set match, to have to then step up and play Karen Khachanov, that's tough tennis. That's a tough match. That's no walk in the park. That's no give me. And then after that, it looks like he probably we have Rublev versus Shardy. Who you like in there? I'd have to say Rublev's playing some pretty awesome tennis in 2021. But again, Medvedev just destroyed him at the Australian Open, as he did pretty much everybody until he got to Novak. I like to see Kei Nishikori. My man Kei Nishikori is back in business, and he's going to have to play and go through Tommy Paul. So we got some good matches ahead, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, maybe that experience of Kei Nishikori, maybe Kei Nishikori gets to the finals and just shows that he is back and that the experience, the veteran experience, because he destroyed Felix Auger-Aliassime, who I keep waiting for him to do something. He had a tight first set and then beat him 7-6, 6-1. What is up with Felix Auger-Aliassime? You watch the guy play, you watch his forehand. When you just watch just one of his forehands, like that's the best forehand on the tour. But then you watch another forehand, you're like, he can't keep his forehand on the court, you know. But that just sums up Felix Auger-Aliassime right now. But I really have big hopes for him. I'm hoping he can get his mind right and his tennis right. He almost has too much game not to know what he's going to do with it. Neo says, as the commentator said, he is a born winner. Yes, he is a born winner. And I know that, I mean, when you hear him talk, he is very serious. He wants to do this. He wants to win big matches. He wants to win a Grand Slam. He is fighting really, really hard. I really hope that he gets rewarded soon. You know, when you're fighting so hard and you're really trying for a breakthrough, you know, sometimes you just need that breakthrough just to, before you get too mentally exhausted. You know, it gets harder. The more you keep knocking at a wall and you keep getting thrown back on the floor, it gets harder to get back up. And that is the key to success, getting back up after you've been knocked on the floor. But, you know, some people get knocked on the floor so many times and they just can't get back up. Tsitsipas is looking very hungry right now. He really, really wants it. I really like him. I hope that he can win this tournament to build back confidence that he might have lost and probably lost after getting beat down by Medvedev. And, you know, Tsitsipas, unlike Medvedev, plays pretty good on clay too. So he could have a good clay court season. Of course, when you go against the beast of Rafa on clay, I still think he's so far away from losing at that French Open that you're probably going to have to pencil him in for the French. And then is Tsitsipas good on grass? I don't know. You would think so with his style. He's got, you know, he played a lot of great serve and volley tennis. How about Tsitsipas in the serve and volley tennis today? Loved it. I mean, I think a lot of people gravitate towards Tsitsipas because his game it's nice to watch. Beautiful backhand, beautiful slice backhand, big forehand. Serve is big, a little weird landing, but still pretty nice serve to look at. Incredible defense, not afraid to come to the net. And when he comes to the net, he knows how to knock off volleys. He knows how to win those points at the net. So a lot of game, good on grass. I mean, good on clay. Not sure about the grass. You would think eventually he'd learn how to do well on grass. He's got, you know, the strokes for it. He's got the serve. He's got the volley. So it'd be interesting to see if he can pull that off. And then at the U.S. Open, you know, the year, it's a long year, but when you're talking about trying to win a Grand Slam tournament, the year goes fast because all of a sudden you start thinking about what are my chances? French Open, beat Rafa on clay, probably not likely 3 out of 5 set. Grass, it's such a weird surface for people that unless it looks like Roger just seems to know how to do it every year. And Novak, a lot of people don't, don't think about Novak top of head grass court player, but let's face it, he's the best grass court player in the last 5 years. So those two just figure out always a way to get to the finals or semifinals. And then the rest is a crapshoot. So can Tsitsipas figure out a way to make his game work on grass? If he can't, then he's looking at the U.S. Open as his last chance for a major. And why am I just putting so much emphasis on the majors is we know we have a small window to see Roger, Rafa, and Novak playing at their very, very best. And I want to see one of these young whippersnappers take a title from them. And I would like to see, I think Tsitsipas deserves it. I think there's just a couple people that I'm looking at week in and week out who deserve it. You know, Tsitsipas is one. I was thinking Medvedev is the other one. Of course, Medvedev took 2 steps back yesterday. His behavior totally unacceptable. I watched a lot of those highlights. Unacceptable behavior. I mean, the guy hit a passing shot and literally an approach shot. He hit an approach shot backhand and did a 360 spin around. Luckily, his opponent somehow missed the passing shot, but his opponent's an awesome player too. But, you know, that was just really weird. He was just really weird. He didn't want to be there. He was basically like, okay, I need a break. I'm burned out. And when I understand he's had a long winning streak and he got to the finals of the Australian Open, but until you reach that mountaintop, there is no rest. There's no rest for the weary until you knock off one of these big 3. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? The return is a problem for Tsitsipas on grass. Yes, and you know what? That is a very good point. And today, if I have one critique of Tsitsipas, because what the big 3 do well, what do they do well? They adjust. How many times have you seen one of the big 3 lose a set and then come back and just put the beat down on you like 6-2, 6-2? And one of the things I noticed is on the do side, and lots of times it's just one adjustment that can open up everything, is lots of times Hurkacz needed a big point. He was able to go out wide on the do side, get aces, or get Tsitsipas stretched out, weak returns, crank forehands and backhand winners to the open court. Did you guys notice that? And I never saw Tsitsipas angle his body and cheat over and protect the alley line. I think if he would have done that, he could have taken that out wide serve away, put a lot of pressure on Hurkacz to make that down the middle serve. All of a sudden, you realize you just got one serve you got to make. Then you miss a couple of those big serves on big points, and there's your break right there. And I never saw him make that adjustment. He kept standing far behind the baseline, both his feet basically forward to the net. And so it gave Hurkacz a big angle advantage on the serve over Tsitsipas to return it. And so if there was one critique, if there's one criticism, I was like, how is he not making this adjustment? Because Hurkacz is going to this time in and time out when he needs a big point. He's acing you out wide. He's hitting out wide. And you're never squeezing that sideline. And to me, you know, that's something that juniors know how to do. You know, that's not like a play that no one's ever heard before, right? I'm sure his coaches told him that. I'm sure he knows that, hey, how would you cut off an angle on an out wide serve? I'm sure if you asked him that question, he'd know how to do it, right? But why didn't you do it? Never even attempted it. Never even gave him a different look. So that is one thing I'm noticing of people outside of the big three is you're just not seeing those little adjustments to break down people's game. So that's my one critique. But I think this is a day of celebration for Tsitsipas fans as far as seeing how he had such a tough time at the Australian Open, the semifinals. Everything was going great. People were picking him to win the tournament as a possible person to, you know, hold a Grand Slam for the first time. Got destroyed by Medvedev, but coming back today and showing his willingness to fight, not letting go at any time, not showing any signs of weakness mentally. I thought that was big, and I am super proud of Tsitsipas, and I'm really rooting for him now to win this tournament. So let me know what you guys think. Is Tsitsipas going to go on and win this tournament? And what will that do for his confidence? What will that do for the rest of his year? Can he win a Grand Slam in 2021? Is this his year to win one major or not? Is it still just all about the big three, or can one of these guys break through? And is Tsitsipas the one? And if he's not the one, who is the one? All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like tennis, if you love tennis, make sure to like this video right now. So if you could like this video, share with your tennis buddies, and subscribe to this channel, then I would be so happy. You guys have a great day out there.